Hello everybody, my name is Will and welcome back to Flyout once again, and I think this is probably the first plane that's been built just for a video since the release, I think. So if you didn't know, Flyout is now out. You can get your hands on it. And in the Flyout Discord, which is going to be linked in the description if you want to take part in this, they run every 2 weeks a bi-weekly build prompt where you can enter your own designs in following their prompt just to give you some building ideas and have a look at what other people in the community are building. So this bi-week, I guess, I've decided to take part in the bi-weekly build prompt competition thing, and the prompt for this week is that we have to build a light subsonic single-engine jet that can be used as a trainer or as an attacker. So it's going to have some ground attack hard points. It's going to be a very lightweight kind of jet, very small, just the one jet engine. I've assumed that by subsonic it's probably not going to be afterburning. You can have a subsonic afterburning jet, no problem, but for the purposes of this, it is non-afterburning, so you can add that, I guess, to my list of limitations. Personally, I genuinely think that this may be the coolest thing I've built in Flyout so far. I don't want to toot my own trumpet too early in the video before you've actually seen it, but I do think I did something really cool with this one. Now, today the build section is just going to end a little bit short because I was slightly running out of hard drive space when it came to recording this one. There's a couple of videos in the works which I've got files for sitting around, and I've slightly run out of space, so I think maybe time to improve the storage on my computer, but it's fine. You get the general shape. You get like 90% of it. The only big part that you miss is the intakes, which feels like quite an important part, but it's actually not too important for the overall look of the craft. I feel like you still get a pretty solid idea from watching this thing. And one thing that I've never been happy with while I've been playing Flyout has been my cockpits. I think I've been building them just kind of weird. They never quite look right. Specifically, if I was to name one that I really didn't like, it was the F-104 video I did. I just didn't like the cockpit on that thing. It didn't feel right. And so I've been looking at your builds in the Flyout Discord. I've also been watching Messier a fair amount because that man is the Messiah. That's basically his name. Oh my goodness me! It all makes sense now. No, he builds really cool stuff, and I'm a little bit jealous, and I will build something that's just as cool one day, I swear. I just gotta get better first. But for now, we're still learning. And I think this plane is a step in the right direction. You know, I've been improving in Sprocket ever since I started my first video 2 and a bit years ago. I think it's been now since I started doing Sprocket with my was it an Australian tank or was it a Japanese tank? My first ever one. I can't remember. I know it's something a little bit weird, but regardless, we're improving. We will continue to improve at this game, and we'll continue to improve at Sprocket, and you'll continue to improve too. If you're doubting yourself in Flyout, which I know a lot of people are, it's not an easy game to pick up. You know, I've tried to say this a couple times, and I do think people heed the warning. I think people are prepared when they're going into it, but it still is a lot for a lot of people. Once you get used to it, it's not too bad. I'd like to say I'm fairly used to the editor. It's just I may not be the best at making those tools work to 100% of their capacity. I quite like this editor. I compared to other games where you design aircraft, so obviously KSP I've played a little bit of, and Simple Planes I've just played a little bit of. I did not mesh with their building much at all. KSP a little bit more than Simple Planes. KSP, I don't know. I just played that for like 600 hours and I barely ever went to space. I just built jets. Simple Planes I just could not get along with. It was too... I don't know how to describe it. It was very plasticky, I feel. Felt no matter what I built, it looked like a toy. So yeah, no, that's why I've not done videos on that. I know I've seen a lot of people asking for it, but it's probably not coming. I will admit. I'm sorry. I don't mean to break your heart. And Balsa as well, actually, which is going to be released as Kit Bash not too far in the future. I do hope to get my hands on that at some point, but as far as I'm aware, even if I was in the early access alpha, I wouldn't be able to tell you, else they'd kill me. So well, hopefully not that serious of a punishment, but yeah. It's you know, it's one of those things, and Kit Bash is looking pretty cool because you're not just going to be able to build planes, as far as I understand, like RC cars, RC tanks, anything. So that will probably appear on the channel at some point once I'm able to get my hands on it and allowed to actually record it. But yeah, I mean, you know, right, okay, one final thing before the plane is done. I set a goal at the start of this year. I said I want to hit 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We are tantalizingly close. We're at 19,200-ish when this video comes out. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. I very rarely ask for this, but I'm asking for it now because we are going to hit that goal. We'll do it. We'll do it. I just need your help a little bit. Anyway. Okay, so here we go. We have the trainer jet for today, and I've got to say, I'm really happy with it. I'm immensely proud of this. It looks weird in ways, but also that's kind of just how these trainer jets are. They are just kind of weird looking because this is not meant to be a main service jet. This is meant to be a kind of easy plane to fly with a pretty cheap service maintenance record. It's not meant to have all the whistles and bells of a modern jet fighter, but also, in a pinch, it could be used if things get bad. So, we've got a central mounting point here for an external fuel tank. We have 2 missile pods, which could be swapped out for anti-air missiles, and then, obviously, 2 AIM-9s on the wings here. So, a pretty beefy loadout, all things considered, for this actual plane. Realistically, you'd probably fly with just one of these at any point in time, but we're gonna fly out with all of them for now. Fly out. Okay, so here we are on the runway, feeling particularly small, and I've just realised I've forgotten brakes and also steering. And my paint's gone again. Why has it done that? Okay, adjustments made, and now we can steer the front wheel, and we also have wheel brakes. So, we are about ready for a takeoff here. And, oh my goodness me, those that steering is maybe a little bit aggressive. So I've done a little tiny bit of fly-by-wire. I'm still not very confident with fly-by-wire, but hopefully it does the job here. And we do have to be a little bit gentle on takeoff, because this does have a bit of a tendency to, yeah, be quite aggressive on the pitch control. So it is quite easy to just put yourself into a stall if you're not careful on the stick, which obviously would be much easier if I had one and wasn't flying on keyboard and mouse, but, you know, that's fine. So, this obviously was built off the bi-weekly build challenge, and that basically stated that this had to be light and subsonic. And I think as light goes, you can definitely see that. This thing is mostly cockpit. There is absolutely no weight behind this thing other than the fuel, the engine, and the pilots. So, it's definitely light, and it is also definitely subsonic. You can see that our thrust is nothing to write home about. We don't have an afterburner on this aircraft. We just have an internal variable nozzle down there that does, you know, allow us to have a little bit more efficiency at higher throttles. And as you can see, that gives us about 30 minutes of fuel at 100%, which I don't think is too bad for a plane like this. I think these normally tend to have a fairly small fuel load because they don't blast them around at 100% quite a lot. Okay, so I've left her in straight line for a little while here. We're building up slightly still, but I think it's fairly safe to say that we're going about 3/4 Mach with all of my loads on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop these hard points, and we're going to see what we're like if we're just completely unladen with any weaponry. So we'll see how close we can get to that sound barrier without without hopefully breaking it, because that would be against the rules here. Okay, so we're now going about 945 kilometers an hour, or 0.8 Mach, so we don't get too much more speed out of this thing with the external pylons dropped, but we should get a pretty good opportunity here to just test how agile this thing is. And yeah, it can pull. I have limited the angle of attack so that the pilot doesn't absolutely kill themselves, and so that it's less likely to just stall in a turn. But it could really pull before I added a little bit of fly-by-wire dampening. So you can see we're limited to about 10 Gs of pull, which is still, don't get me wrong, a lot of Gs. That is definitely enough to knock a pilot out, let alone a pilot in training. But yeah, it's fairly agile, and also it can do 8 in the negative. So don't do that, and you should be fine. But yeah, I reckon what we'll do is we'll try and take her in for a landing here, and then we'll take off again with all of our ordnance, and we'll have a little bit of a dogfight with, well, dogfight in inverted commas with a target drone. We'll try and shoot one down, and then we can even spawn a ground unit here and see if we can take it out with the rockets, but I can't guarantee I'll be able to hit them because I've never used them before. Alright, here we go. We are leading for our landing approach here. We're going to bring out the flaps just to bleed off a little bit of this speed, and just try and find a trim setting here that isn't going to give us too much pitch either way, up or down. We're just going to have to give it a tiny little bit of throttle here so that we can, you know, stay in the air, I think is a good way to put it. But yeah, I've given it plenty of distance, so we should be able to slow down without having to do any silly maneuvers here. Coming in a little bit low, but that's not too much of a problem. We're going to give it some more beans here, because this doesn't have a lot of wing area, so you can imagine the stall speed is actually quite high on this thing. Probably about 250 kilometers an hour is the slowest I'll really want to go. Just got to be careful on roll and pitch so that we don't accidentally tip her really, really hard one way or the other. And give it some flare, cut the throttle. Just trying to use trim, touch down, hold the brakes, and that, I think, is, I mean, not a very central, but a fairly solid landing as things go. Awesome. Right, let's go shoot down a target drone, I guess. Okay, we are going to drop this fuel tank, because we're not going to be needing that where we're going, and we will keep these rocket pods so that I don't need to rearm before going and taking on a ground unit here, just to save me some time. So let's just gain some altitude and speed so that we're not going to be fighting a target drone which is vastly faster than us, because that's just going to be boring. Let's get ourselves up to, I think, about 1,500 meters here. Shouldn't need too much more than that. Here we go. Let's spawn in this target drone. Whereabouts are they? They're over there. Right, we've got to get around and start gaining on them real quick, because they are quite a way away after all of what I said. Okay, at about 780 kilometers an hour, we've started gaining on it, so just bear with me while we intercept. Right, we're going to select our IR missiles here, and now we do have a lock. I think I'm going to fire at about 2.5 and see if that gets its target. It is quite an angle, so we might struggle here, but let's just hope that that missile flies true, and it looks good. There we go. Long range shot there, actually, to take that guy down. That is That wasn't bad, to be honest. I'm quite impressed with that missile. We might even be able to gun them a little bit on the way down here. Oh, no. Oh, goodness me. Okay, no. Clearly my fly-by-wire isn't that good. Yeah, I still need to get better at fly-by-wire, I believe. Right, let's drop this other AIM-9 here, and we can spawn in a tank and see what kind of luck we get. It's all the way over there, so let's gain on that and select some of these rocket pods. Now, I don't know if we get any targeting help with these. I think they just kind of fire, so we could struggle, to be honest. Okay, we're starting to get close to this tank now, so let's see if we can line this guy up and just get a shot in here. Now, I don't know what the drop on these rockets is like. I'm assuming they're pretty quick based on the... Oh, my goodness me. Yep, okay. Yeah, right. That's, they're quick. Now, our gun is just kind of going to be firing as we do this, because there's not a lot we can do about that for now. But I think we can start getting a bit of a bead on this tank. Maybe about there we should start getting some good hits. We actually took it out. Okay. I did not expect to do that. I really thought we were going to fail there, and it was going to be a big disappointment. I guess we'll try a SAM now. That went shockingly well, and oh, goodness me, it's another 40 kilometers away. Okay. That surface-to-air missile looks rather high altitude for something that's on the surface. I think they may have put that SAM on the top of a mountain. This is going to be some proper Top Gun stuff, I'm feeling. Okay, I think it's either on this side of the mountain or just on the other side. Either way, not the most ideal, because one way we're going to be in its line of fire, the other way we're going to have to do some crazy maneuvers to actually get a shot on this thing. And I do think it's on the other side based on how this is all going, which is probably the preferable of the two options, to be honest. We're going to try and just use this mountain for cover as long as we can, deny them any chance to get a missile shot off on me. And then, as soon as we crest the mountain, we have to start just beating in at full speed. We're going to put the engines to 100% again. And there we go. There is a missile inbound. We're going to try and lose that by going low. They're coming in. There we go. There's one dodged. There's another one dodged. I don't think that one's ever going to hit. We have to... Oh, my goodness me. Where... Oh, my gosh. They can turn harsh. We have to start firing our rockets in return here. Oh, God. We're aiming so badly. So badly. That's not gone well. That's not gone well at all. Okay. Let's try here and just bring her around for another pass really quickly. They could definitely get a shot, but I think I stand the better chance here of getting them, because missiles are kind of long-range things. Oh, what you doing? What are you doing? Ah! And a 100% successful mission. I think we'll all agree on that one. Still rolling down this mountain, man. Oh, God, this can't be comfortable. Oh, and there goes the fuselage. Oh, come on, Jimmy. Hold on. You'll be all right, Jimmy. Yeah, you're all good, Jimmy. We'll send a search and rescue helicopter out. You're fine. Well, on that measured success, we'll call it a day there. Thank you for watching. I'm really proud of this thing. I really hope you enjoyed it too. And if you did enjoy the plane and also the video, please have a like, comment, and or subscribe. And I will see you in the future for more things like this. But for now, I won't keep you for too long. And I will say goodbye. And of course, as always, a huge thank you to my patrons: Badger Burner Potato, Camdrum135, Cody N, DJ Pete, Skavunga, Massa929, Ted Cat, Just Casualty 6M1, Last 11, Mark Modley Invested, Nicholas K, Rawsels Bokken, Ryan Brody, The Canesian Emperor, Zerasheim, and Zeit Wolverine. Thank you so much for your support.